The Mystery of a Butcher's Shop by Gladys Mitchell. Dramatised by Elizabeth Proud. With Mary Wimbush as Mrs Lestrange Bradley, Richard Pearce as Aubrey Harringay, and Christopher Scoular as James Redsey. Part 1. An Offal Discovery.
I say! Well played, that girl. That's 2 games all. Shall we have a decider this time before tea?
If you like. I say, Aubrey, who's that man going up to the front door?
The Reverend bird. No idea. Got any more balls your side, Felicity? My serve, I think.
Here you are.
Thanks.
But he isn't a reverend gentleman, you know.
How twiggy he isn't a padre.
He hasn't a dog collar. Use your eyes, little boy.
Must be a legal eagle, then. Cousin Rupert's always seeing lawyers about his beastly money. Wonder if he's got up yet. He wasn't down for lunch, the lazy pig. Ready? Here goes.
Gone? To America?
Yes. I'm Jim Redsey, by the way, Rupert's cousin, Mr.
Theodore Grayling, Mr. Sethleigh's solicitor. When did he go?
Today. Early this morning.
To America? Strange. Very strange. Perhaps you can tell me, Mr. Redsey, why he requested me to come down here this afternoon in order to effect certain alterations in the testamentary disposal of his property.
Eh? Oh, you mean...
Change his will.
Yes. I mean, no. Well, that is... Do you mean Sethleigh asked you to come down here today? I didn't know that. You see, I'm only staying here until I hear about a job I've been promised. In Mexico.
I see. Mr. Redsey...
Of course, it was rather decent of Sethleigh to have me here, especially as we don't really... know each other frightfully well. Our respective maters didn't exactly hit it off, you see.
Mr. Redsey...
Look here, my aunt will be down to tea. We'd better discuss the thing together.
Your aunt? Mr. Sethleigh's mother?
Oh, no, she died. Another aunt. Mrs. Bryce Harringay.
I see. Mr. Redsey, I am quite at a loss to understand your cousins going off to America like this. It is not at all the kind of thing Rupert Sethleigh would do.
No. No?
No. And what motive had he?
Motive? What do you mean, motive?
Why on earth should...
James, what is this I hear?
Oh, Aunt Constance, may I present Mr. Theodore Grayling?
Good afternoon.
I know Mr. Grayling already. How do you do, Mr. Grayling? You might have imagined that fact for yourself, James, if you possessed the brain of a bat, which of course you do not and never will. Now listen to me. I have made the most appalling discovery.
Oh.
James.
Oh, well, you know, all for the best, I mean. What I mean to say, these things are sent to try us, and all that.
I agree that it will certainly try me most sorely, James, and your manifest sympathy is most touching, especially as the lady in question is entirely unknown to you.
Eh? What lady in question?
Certainly, Mrs Lestrange Bradley. She has come to live in Wandles Parva. She has taken the stone house.
Phew, terrific shot, Felicity.
Practice, my child. I'll collect the balls if you see to the net.
Right you are. Hello? Here he comes again.
Oh.
The bird who isn't a reverend. And with the mater, what's more, poor old bird.
Of course.
She's probably grilling him in her best Lady Bracknell fashion. Did you see the importance?
Of course I didn't. And you're not to tell me about it. I'm too envious.
Doesn't your pater care about the theatre? Moral scruples and whatnot?
Father hasn't any morals. He's a clergyman. We can't afford the theatre, that's all. I'm going in now to get washed before tea. Coming?
Let's go in through the library. I expect old Jim's in there.
Yes, Rupert has invited the Vicar of Crewless Cumboon to look at the garden on Thursday, I believe.
The Vicar of...
Quite an authority on alpine plants, I understand.
Well, I do hope he will understand when he finds that your nephew has gone to America.
What?
I say, old Jim's got the hump today or something. Have you noticed?
I don't think he's very well. He's rather a jolly man usually, isn't he?
Don't know him frightfully well, you know. His mater and old Rupert's mater never hit it off. And my pater, who was the brother, couldn't stick either of them, so I've hardly met Jim until this holiday.
You like him, though, don't you?
Oh, he's all right. Knock spots off old Rupert. He's the most frightful outsider that ever lived.
Gone to America?
I say, the mater's in a bait today. Let's make ourselves scarce. After you, Miss Broome.
I don't believe a word of it. I shall go immediately to the vicarage and find out what Mr. Broome knows about this mad freak. He witnessed Rupert's last will, and so I suppose is in his confidence, which is more than can be said of his nearest relations. Come along, Mr. Grayling. We'll go through the woods. There's a shortcut.
Thank you, kind sir. Oh, hello, Jimsy.
Oh.
I say, are you all right? You look dreadful.
Yes. You do look as though something's got you in the gizzard, old lad.
A touch of the sun, I expect.
You don't feel sick, do you? You're a horrible greenish-white colour.
As though you're going bad. You know. Sure you're fit?
Quite sure, thanks.
Good-o. Where's old Rupert?
No idea. What about tea?
On the lawn. It's lovely out there.
Yes. Isn't it? Run and tell your mother and the solicitor, would you, Aubrey?
Not a lot of use, old lad. They've gone to the vicarage. At least they were making off towards the woods when last spotted.
Towards the woods? Oh, good God! Hi! Aunt Constance! I say! Grayling, stop! I say, stop a minute! Oh, dash it! I say! Half a minute! Hi!
Good Lord.
You don't think he really has got a touch of the sun, do you?
Heaven knows, sweet child. I say, though, did you hear? That bird is a legal eagle. Must have come to see Rupert. Wonder what old Jim's in such a bait about.
I wonder where Rupert is.
Stop! Hi! I say, where are you? Oh, stop a minute! I say! How constant... Oh, there you are. Phew.
Oh, really, James? You are a most offensive-looking object. Most. You are perspiring, boy.
Sorry. Yes, I know. It's beastly hot weather. Damn well out of training. Been running, you know. Came to tell you it's tea time.
Oh.
Hate you to miss your tea. Cold tea, you see, such beastly stuff. No? Yes?
You are puerile, James. Mr. Grayling and I are going to the vicarage to discover the truth about Rupert.
Truth about Rupert? You don't know what you're talking about. The vicar doesn't know the truth about Rupert.
James, pray control yourself.
Yes. Control. And tea. It's ready.
I must say, a cup of tea would be very welcome.
Oh, but the vicar will be out after tea. He is never at the vicarage after 5 o'clock on Mondays.
Then I fear we should scarcely catch him, as the time is now...
Oh.
Come, Mrs. Harringay. You'll feel much better after a cup of tea.
Oh, very well.
Phew. That was a near thing.
Good night, mater. Sleep well.
Phew. Oh, it's still beastly hot. Better. Hello? What are you up to, Jimsy, my buck? With a spade, too. Perhaps he's robbed old Rupert's safe and is going to bury the spoils. I say, what a lark. Elementary, Watson, you goop.
Who's there?
Wish he wouldn't keep turning round. Jolly confusing, this wood at night. Doggo! Chap's got a hurricane lamp. Yes, I was right. He's starting to dig. Beastly place he's picked, too. That's the Druid stone altar behind him. And these pines all round. Really spooky. Great jumping cats. He's trying to get through to Australia. Must be 3 feet down at least. Difficult to see how long from here. 6 feet? Could almost be a grave. Now what's he doing? Chap must be off his chump. Walked off and left the spade. I wonder what I'd better do. Anyway, I'll pinch the spade before he can do any damage with it. Oh, quick, before he comes back.
Where the devil?
Phew, that was close. What's he looking for? He's coming straight over here. I better skedaddle.
Hey, you! Stop! Come here! I've got you! Oh, dash it! Come back, you! I say!
Shocking goings on in the village lately.
Oh, that's right, you lady. Fighting in the Queen's Head Sunday night, so I hear tell.
Who was?
That young Mr. Wright up at the cottage.
Oh, artists they are.
And Farmer Galloway. Though they do say as Mr. Wright started it, hitting young Galloway over the head with yog pudding.
There you are.
And young Mr. Redsey lying dead drunk in the middle of it all.
Never.
Ah, but that's not all.
Oh, you mean Squire Sethleigh going off to the States so sudden like?
Worse than that, Mrs. Willows. There's been a murder done at the butcher's in the market down in Bosbury.
Oh, not Henry Binks. Such a respectable man. Sober, too.
Well, what I say it's a judgment on him. A man was never meant to make his living out of killing the dumb animals and offering their carcasses for sale. I'm a vegetarian myself, though I can't persuade Mr. Blenkins into it, I'm sorry to say.
But what's Mr. Binks done?
Oh, he hasn't done nothing that I know of. At least I hope it isn't him that's done it. It's what he found. Human joints, my dear.
Oh, human joints? Why, whatever do you mean, you Lady Blenkins?
Yes, this morning, first thing he found them. You know Henry Binks lives over his main shop in the Purley Road, and he leases the lock-up shop in the market.
Yes.
Well, Monday not being a good day in his line of business, he never troubles to go down and open the lock-up till Tuesday. Well, first thing this morning then, being Tuesday, he goes down to the market shop as usual, and what does he find?
What? Oh, get on with it, you lady!
I tell you what Henry Binks found. He found a body. A human body. All cut up into joints as neat as he could have done it himself. And all hung up on his hooks where he generally hangs his beef and his lamb. His very tools had been used to do the job, so folks do say. The police is keeping them for fingerprints.
Bones, dem, hurrah, bones, dem, hurrah, bones, dem, hurrah, bones, now hear the word of the law.
Fingerprints? Hundreds of them, sir. Pity the murderer had the sense to take the head away with him. Then we'd have known who the dead man is.
Yes, it's a damn nuisance. Then look at the cleverness of dismembering the corpse in a butcher's shop. Nobody wonders what the chopping noise is for.
He left it very tidy, though, didn't he, if that's where he did it? Looks like a local fella. Special knowledge and all that.
Grindy, a murder case is always dirty work. And in a case of this kind, where you've got to establish identity before you can get down to anything else, it's the very devil. And a confounded waste of time.
Identification, yes. Fattish, youngish, and well cared for, according to the doctor. Not a lot to go on, sir.
Well, he was obviously a gentleman. Bath every day sort of look those limbs have got, if you noticed.
I better start by finding out who's missing.
Well, as to that, there's some sort of mystery at Wandles Parva. Their big bug, Sethleigh, you know, has suddenly taken it into his head to go to America. But nobody seems to know anything about it. His aunt, Mrs Bryce Harringay, sent us a letter this morning. Here's a description of him. It might fit the corpse.
Bones, dem, hurrah, bones, dem, hurrah, bones, dem, hurrah, bones, now hear the word of the law.
old bird.
Aubrey, thought you'd gone to bed.
Yes, I had. That's to say, I've snooped under the mater's bally bed and scared away the bogies and burglars for her. And then I thought I'd just have a word with you about this spade.
The devil!
Yes, it's the one you were using last night in the woods. I hate to ask you, old lad, but where is that blighter, Rupert?
You!
You stiff, you'll do me in!
Come here, you little blighter! Hello? Who's that? I'm off!
Aubrey!
Who is it?
It's me! Let me come in. Quick.
Hello, Felicity.
Where's Jimsy?
Gone to bed.
Who are you shouting at just now? Me? Don't be silly. Who was being unkind to you?
No one, dear child. Nobody's ever unkind to me. I say, I suppose you've heard the glad tidings that are round the village.
You mean the murder?
The butcher's shop business. Yes. Beastly, isn't it?
Aubrey, that's what I've come to see you about. I suppose I ought to have told Father, but really he's such a priceless old ass, he'd only go and get somebody into trouble. So I thought I'd talk it over with you. You're young, but you're awfully sensible.
Obliged, I'm sure. Well?
You know our dust heap.
Survivals of medieval England, in other words, past pluperfect of the verb stinke, to give forth an obtrusive odour with malice aforethought.
Yes, well, it's excelled itself. I found a suitcase on it. It has Rupert Sethleigh's initials on it. I'm practically certain that it's the suitcase he lent Father when we went away for a holiday last month.
Funny way of returning it.
I thought Father had returned it. But what terrifies me is the inside is horribly stained with blood.
My hat.
Yes, isn't it? It's so awkward with poor old Jimsy digging that ghastly grave and everything.
Eh?
I was in the woods last night, out for a walk. I saw him chasing you and everything.
Oh, I see. We're in this together, then. Good. You know the Roberts have been here all the afternoon, don't you?
The who?
The police, you innocent. Old Jim got the wind up and no mistake when he saw them.
Oh, I can't believe it of Jimsy. Aubrey, what was happening in here when I came along?
Oh, I made the poor old thing a bit hairy, you know. Tactless of me, really. I mean, a man may think a man has dotted a man one over the nut in a fit of peevishness or absent-mindedly, but a man has no earthly right to indicate to a man that a man suspects such to be the case.
Yes, I see what you mean. And he was angry with you?
He had a shot at slamming that spade down on top of my head. Only the coffee table got in the way.
Aubrey, what are we going to do?
Well, how about if I come back to the vicarage with you, collect the gory suitcase and bung it down the hole old Jim dug?
Well, I don't know.
Once you've given me the case, you can cut off to bed. I'll do the rest. Hang on, though. What if the Roberts come nosing round? Better not let them find the suitcase. Perhaps I could put something else there instead. I know. Just the very thing.
I knew I heard burglars.
Burglars? What rot!
I object, James, both to your speech and the tone in which you see fit to deliver it. And you are looking quite liverish this morning, Aubrey. I repeat, there were burglars in this house last night. They have stolen a valuable trout from the case in the hall.
Valuable? What tosh! A beastly lot of mid-Victorian atrocities, those trout. As a matter of fact, one of them is a roach. Valuable?
If it were not valuable, the burglars would not have taken it. If you are going to choke, Aubrey, will you please go outside?
Oh dear. Felicity, could you see if I put Tacitus on the mantelpiece in there?
Here you are.
Oh, thank you, my dear. Will you take the clock back for me?
Yes. I don't want to upset you, sweetest, but we shan't have a single clock in the house that will keep correct time if you go pushing them into the pockets of your coat like that.
No.
Now, about the tennis party. Whom shall we have?
You please yourself, my dear.
Well, there's Aubrey, his awful mother, and Jimsy. That's 3 from the manor. Then I owe Mr. Wright an invitation, so that means asking Mr. Savile and the unspeakable Lulu from the cottage on the hill. I ought to ask Marjorie Barnes. She doesn't get much fun, poor kid. And Dr. Barnes. No use asking Mrs. Barnes, she's away. What about the Major?
What about Mr. Sethleigh? You didn't include him with the manor crowd.
Darling, I keep telling you he's gone to America.
Really? That's very curious.
Why?
Why? Why? Well, he wants me to witness his will. I promised to go over there on Monday afternoon when his solicitor was due to arrive, but I completely forgot it.
But you did witness his will, darling, ever so long ago, don't you remember?
Oh, yes, I remember that will, but he was going to alter it. You see, the chief beneficiary was young James Redsey, but he must have done something to annoy his cousin, because this new will cuts him right out and leaves the bulk of the property to the boy Aubrey.
But are you certain?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, by the way, I think I must go into Culminster this afternoon. I want to see Crowdsley about the repairing fund. We must have something done about the west door.
Good idea. Perhaps he'll give you something nice for lunch if you trot off at once. Huh? Bishops generally have nice food, don't they? And there's nothing but the cold lamb here and precious little of that.
There's a lady across the half-daughters be wanting his reverence. Will I be after asking her within?
You will, Mary Kate, and kindly refrain from instructing her to wipe her shoes on the mat, as you did when the bishop came to call.
Sure, and wouldn't that be foolishness itself, with no rain falling these 20 days and the road without as dry as Tim Nix's throat, and the whole of the sky like brazen brass entirely? Will you come this way? Mrs Lestrange Bradley.
Am I addressing the spiritual advisor of this parish?
Well, I suppose so. Well, that is, yes.
Then I am compelled to state that, in my opinion, the west door is a disgrace.
We were just talking about it. But the Restoration Fund, all told, only amounts to 29 shillings and 7pence. What's the use of that, I should like to know?
A lovely child, and so angry with me. Have the door repaired. Send me the estimates. I will pay the bill.
Oh, but I'm going to see the bishop about it this very afternoon. I mean, it's tremendously kind of him.
Don't worry, I'm solvent. As for going to see Reginald Crowdsley, you might as well save your time, young man. Look here, suppose I give you a cheque for the Restoration Fund, and then you can muddle along in your own way with it. I suppose he is a muddler, child. He looks like one.
A palpable hit, Mrs. Bradley. Oh, by the way, why don't you come to our tennis party tomorrow afternoon? Then that will make the number of people you wanted, Felicity, dear.
Yes, it will. We'd be delighted, Mrs. Bradley.
So would I.
She's a most infuriating woman.
Yes, the mater loathes her too. She's a psychoanalyst.
A what?
Psychoanalyst. I don't know what they do, quite. I believe it's something mad but brainy. The mater collects these new movements, and she tried to collect Mrs. Bradley, who appears to be rather a brass hat at the business, but the old dame wasn't having any, said that what the mater needed wasn't a psychoanalyst, but a copper-plated dummy, because all her moods and tempers were simply due to indigestion. Of course, the mater was rather fed and tried to get our solicitor to start an action for slander or something, but he only told her to think herself lucky she'd had such good advice absolutely free of charge. So the mater tried the diet stunt, as recommended by Mrs. Bradley, and has positively never looked back.
Fancy.
Oh, and by the way, rather a confounded nuisance. That suitcase of Rupert's, it's gone.
Oh, but you buried it on Tuesday night.
No, as a matter of fact, I didn't. I left it in the bushes while I went to get the fish. And I wish I knew whether the silly blighter who swiped it was playing a practical joke or whether... Oh, I don't know. What do you think?
I haven't the least idea what you're talking about. What happened?
Telling you, I went up to the house to get a stuffed fish to shove into the hole old Jim made on Monday night, and when I got back, the beastly case had gone. Someone had taken it.
But I can't think why you didn't bury it as we'd arranged.
Well, I thought... The police, you see. They'll nose about. Sure to. They'll spot the freshly dug earth, then they'll excavate. Well, it wouldn't do for them to find the blood-stained baggage, would it? With old Rupert's initials as large as life on the lid. Especially since old Jim can't prove an alibi for the time in question.
You think the murdered man is Rupert, don't you? But he can't be. I mean, things like that don't happen to people one knows. I tell you what, though, Aubrey. The thought that someone was watching us in those woods on Monday night, and again last night, it makes me crawl all over.
Yes, beastly.
Oh, bother. Here comes Mr. Savile looking for a tennis partner. Will you play again, or are you too tired?
I'm too tired to play with Savile. Chap always looks dirty to me, greasy bounder.
Don't be silly. Go and talk to Mrs. Bradley, then.
Not I. I'm going to have a squint at your historic dust heap.
I say, Miss Broome, When I was over here last time, your father offered to show me his Rabelais.
Oh, yes, Mr. Savile. I think Father's in the study now.
Oh, thank you so much. I'll go along then.
There are sandwiches and things in the dining room. Please help yourself.
Thank you so much.
Hello, Doctor. You're not going already?
Must. Sorry, Felicity, but I can't stand that woman's company another minute. Of all the nosy, insinuating, interfering...
You mean Mrs. Bradley? Oh, she's coming this way.
Oh, then I'm off. Goodbye.
How ill-natured one is always tempted to be when one gossips. Dr. Barnes was thus tempted. He fell.
Did he? Who was the victim this time?
Mrs. Savile.
Oh, you mean Lulu Hurst?
Do I? That's what the doctor seemed anxious to impress upon me. He became quite heated on the subject of the young woman's marital status.
I can't stand any of them up at the cottage on the hill. They're such a queer crowd. Of course, one can understand Cleaver Wright. He's an artist.
Where does he come from?
Somewhere in London.
And now he lives at the cottage on the hill in Wandles Parva. Curious. Who gave it that name, by the way? The always correct Mr. Savile?
Yes, I think so. Well, hello, Aubrey. How was the dust heap?
Horrid. I say, what does your pater do with his false teeth?
He doesn't have false teeth.
No, I thought he hadn't. Goodbye.
Well...
Very curious.
Neck bone, your neck bone connected to you. Head bone, now hear the word of the Lord.
Dear me, Constance, you do seem to be having difficulties in Wandles Parva.
Difficulties? My dear Reginald, we have had the police, we have endured the press, the house has been ransacked, and it is all James's fault.
Oh, come now.
That is why I wish to talk to you, both as bishop and as my brother-in-law.
Well, it's a fine day for a drive. I shall bathe when we get to Ram's Cove.
Reginald.
Oh, very well, Constance. What has James been up to?
I know that James is a favourite with you. I think it is a pity. He has told various lies.
Dear me. What about?
About Rupert. It seems that Rupert did not go to America, and that James concocted a whole series of untruthful explanations in order to conceal the true whereabouts of his unfortunate cousin.
And whereabouts is his unfortunate cousin?
We do not know. It seems that James, in a fit of animal passion, laid violent hands upon his cousin and smote him on the head. The blow caught Rupert under the chin and...
Laid him out. Go on, Constance. You have a decided gift for exposition, you know.
Well, now comes the really mysterious part of the affair. James left his cousin lying prone upon the damp ground at 8 o'clock at night in that horrible place.
I shouldn't have thought the ground could be damp after this long spell of fine weather. But what horrible place do you mean?
I told you. In the midst of the woods, near the Druid's stone. There is blood on the stone where the poor boy struck his head in falling. From that moment, Rupert has never more been seen.
Ah, most enjoyable.
Personally, I think sea bathing unwise. Let me spread out that damp towel. It will soon dry.
Oh, on no account. I have a real treasure wrapped up in it. A brachycephalic skull. A young man on the beach gave it to me.
A skull? Reginald, how extraordinarily unpleasant. Pray move it further away from my person.
I think Broome ought to see it. He knows quite a lot about the Celtic era. We could drive round by the Wandles Parva vicarage, couldn't we?
Neck bone, your neck bone connected to you. Head bone, now hear the word of the Lord.
But look here, sir, this looks too good to be true.
To be sure, if a nice set of false teeth wouldn't improve the appearance of the creature entirely.
Thank you, Mary Kate. Would you make us a fresh pot of tea, perhaps?
And some more scones, please.
No.
Do sit down, Mrs. Bryce Harringay.
Thank you.
Where did you say you got this skull, Bishop?
A young fellow camping near Ram's Cove found it and gave it to me. Very fine, don't you think?
I should say that it is less than 100 years old.
Rubbish, man.
Well, look, I'll tell you what, let's send for young Cleaver Wright and see if he can reconstruct the thing. He's very clever at modelling.
Neck bone, your neck bone connected to you. Head bone, now hear the word of the Lord.
Yes, I see, yes.
Can I take it away with me?
Oh, can't you slap a bit of clay over it now?
Afraid not. All my stuff's up at the cottage, you see. I'll bring it over tomorrow, sure as sure.
Bone, your neck bone connected to you. Head bone, now hear the word of the Lord.
There you are, Vicar. Rather a curious resemblance, don't you think?
Great Scott!
Glory be to God, 'tis Mr. Sethleigh himself to the light.
Oh.
Disconnect them bones, them. Hurrah, bones, disconnect them bones, them. Hurrah, bones, disconnect them bones, them. Hurrah, bones, now hear the word of the Lord.
Look here, Inspector, you can't prove that I was the last person to see Rupert before he disappeared.
True. What was Mr. Sethleigh wearing when you walked into the woods together at 5 to 8 on the evening of Sunday, June the 22nd?
I'm not swearing to the time, mind. The date's all right. Rupert was in dark brown, I think.
+4, sir?
Yeah. It was Sunday evening. A lounge suit.
I see. The colour of the suit is given by Mrs. Bryce Harringay's medium to light grey. And she says it was a pair of flannel trousers supported by a silk scarf and a tennis shirt.
Look here, I'm a man. I don't notice what people wear. My aunt's a woman. She does. And anyway, what difference does it make what he was wearing? I thought you'd made up your minds it was Rupert's body that was in the butcher's shop. Didn't Uncle Redsey find his skull or something?
It's an interesting story, that, sir. The bishop showed the skull to the vicar here at Wandles, and they asked Mr. Cleaver Wright to build the head and face onto it. Very humorous gentleman is Mr. Cleaver Wright. Well, his model was the image, I'm told, of Mr. Sethleigh, and it's up at the station now.
Good Lord.
At least the bits of it are, for when we broke up the clay, there was nothing but a coconut inside.
That's interesting.
Yes. Mr. Wright says that he was called away to speak to someone at the door while he was modelling the features on the skull. It seems as though someone must have substituted the coconut while he was gone.
Ah.
I wish you'd tell me what passed between you and your cousin that Sunday evening. Did you quarrel?
What if we did? It had no connection with the disappearance. I'll tell you one thing, Inspector. I think you're right about the body being Rupert's. My cousin was more than a bit of a blackguard. I found that out when my aunt and I went through his papers.
Yes, sir. Sethleigh had enough incriminating evidence against various people to allow him to live in luxury on the proceeds of blackmail for the rest of his life.
Well, there you are, then. One of them has done in, my precious cousin, and a good job, too.
Well, sir, you may be right.
Or if not one of the people whose names have come to light, what about his other unknown victims?
Victims? That's a good word, that is. Victims.
Inspector Grindy! Oh, what a fortuitous meeting. I inquired at the police station, and they said you were here. But I had hoped not to encounter Mrs. Bryce Harringay. I am Mr. Rupert Sethleigh's solicitor, Theodore Grayling.
Well, I'm very glad to meet you, sir. I assume you have some information about Mr. Sethleigh?
Well, not exactly. It is just that I think you should find out whether Mr. Redsey was acquainted with the terms of my client's will. Perhaps I ought to say my late client's will.
What about the will, sir?
Well, this is the point. If the will were altered in accordance with a rough draft which Mr. Sethleigh drew up less than 3 weeks ago, Mr. Redsey would find himself completely disinherited as a result of a serious quarrel between the cousins.
They did quarrel, then. What was the cause, sir? Do you know that?
Money. Mr. Redsey had asked for a loan to enable him to buy a share in a Mexican ranch.
And Sethleigh refused?
In the roundest terms. Rather a pity, I think, as he could so easily have afforded the money.
Redsey was angry, of course.
Very angry. There were several acrimonious arguments.
And so Mr. Sethleigh decided to alter his will?
That's it, Inspector. I came down on Monday last and interviewed Mr. Redsey, as my client was not there. A curious feature of the afternoon was Redsey's determination that Mrs. Bryce Harringay and I should on no account approach the vicarage by way of the Manor Woods. He went through the most extraordinary manoeuvres to prevent it.
The Manor Woods, eh? Thanks for the tip, sir.
Oh, a pleasure. Well, I might as well return to town. You are the person I came to see, and...
Mr. Grayling!
Oh,
Goodbye,
Inspector.
Mr. Grayling! Oh, most unfortunate.
He was trying to catch a train, I believe. Now that you're here, madam, there is just one thing.
So, Grindy, assuming the Bosbury body is that of Rupert Sethleigh, then young Redsey had a motive. Two, in fact. The will and Sethleigh's refusal to lend him money.
Yes, and the opportunity. He seems to be the last person to see Sethleigh before his disappearance. They were seen walking into the Manor woods together.
Were they now?
Not only that, but Redsey tried to establish an alibi by going into the Queen's Head about 9 o'clock that night and getting dead drunk.
Really?
Had to be took home. Now, I figure it out like this. The two cousins went into the woods arguing, and it turns into a fight. Redsey kills his cousin, hides the body in the bushes, and all Monday he spends his time playing policeman and stopping people from going into the woods. It looks pretty bad.
Yes, I grant that. But how did he get the body from the woods into Bosbury Market and chop it up without someone spotting him?
It must have been done on a Monday night after dark, sir.
But after dark, Grindy, my lad, the market is shut and they drop steel doors over the entrances. Not a cat could squeeze in, let alone a chap carrying a dead body.
Well, what about very early Tuesday morning? The market opens at 6, I suppose.
No, not until 8. And Binks the butcher was in his shop at 9:30.
I see your point. Too risky.
Yes. What I do think ought to be undertaken next is a thorough search of those woods.
Very good, sir. I'll get onto it right away.
Young man!
Oh, hello, Mrs. Bradley.
Tell me why you are not playing golf today.
All the cheery souls here have indicated pretty clearly that they prefer my room to my company. I believe there are rumours current that I murdered my cousin Sethleigh a short time ago.
And did you?
Well, at one time I thought I had, but I'm glad to say that I was wrong.
This sounds remarkably interesting. May I hear more?
Well, I've made up my mind to spill the yarn to the inspector, so...
So I have come just in time for the dress rehearsal.
Yes. You see, we had an argument on the Sunday night, Rupert and I got a bit heated and knocked him down.
Yes?
Well, the silly ass had to go and smash his silly head against the trunk of a tree.
A tree? Aha.
Yes. Well, of course, I thought I'd killed him. I didn't know what to do, so I lugged him into the middle of a hazel copse and pelted along to the Queen's Head and got beastly tight.
Indeed.
2 chaps had to cart me home, and my aunt locked me in for the night. So the next night, I went to bury Rupert's body in the middle of the woods, but he wasn't there. So I know I didn't kill him. See what I mean? Well, no time like the present. Hello? Is that Felicity Broome at the gate? I say. You'll let me give you both a lift back to Wandles, won't you?
We'd be delighted. I am very fond of Felicity. She's a dear girl.
Yes, isn't she? Come on, then. And I'll go and talk to Grindy this afternoon.
Oh, nothing here, Inspector.
But, I say, are you sure, Sergeant?
Oh, dead sure. Half a minute. She's struck on something. It's a suitcase, sir.
It can't be.
Let's have it up, Walls.
Right, yeah, sir.
Well, I'm damned. R.S. Rupert Sethleigh, wouldn't you say, Mr. Harringay?
Yes.
And not locked. And inside...
Crikey, my fish!
Now then, young man, I think you better come clean.
I don't see that the police will have any other choice but to arrest Mr. Redsey, unless some fresh evidence turns up.
But you can't believe that Jimsy would do anything so horrible.
I don't know whether he killed his cousin, but I don't believe he carved him up, and I think we had better put our heads together to see if we can't prove it. I want to see young Mr. Harringay and his mother, separately if possible, But first, the good doctor, I think.
Enter! Oh, it's you. I must say you don't look very ill.
I am not in the least ill, I am thankful to say. I came to ask if you can think of anywhere that the missing skull might be hidden.
Oh, that. Well, of course, if they'd brought the thing to me, I could soon have told them whether it was Rupert Sethleigh's or not. You'd only to try his dental plate in the jaws and see if it would fit.
Quite so he did wear false teeth.
Oh, yes. Would have been an infallible proof, you know, quite infallible. I mean, a man's dental plate, like his fingerprints, can't possibly belong to anyone else.
Oh, Mrs. Bradley, you are so clever. Can't you think of anything that will save James?
Forgive me, but I thought you disliked him.
Oh, yes, of course I do. But it would be so awkward for Aubrey later on if it became known that his cousin had been hanged for murder.
Now then, sit up and attend to me. Who else hated Rupert Sethleigh besides James, Felicity, Broome, and darling Aubrey?
Well, Rupert knew that Dr. Barnes had an illegitimate son. Well, that's why I always have a Bosbury doctor when we're staying here.
I see. And the doctor knew that Rupert knew.
Oh, yes. It saved Rupert paying insurance money for the servants, you see. Dr. Barnes treats them free of charge because Rupert didn't tell.
Is Dr. Barnes a surgeon?
He helped to amputate the Major's brother's leg after a hunting accident, and he took out Margaret Summertoll's appendix. At least, everybody said it was her appendix, but I drew my own conclusions. You see, she...
Yes, I see. Most suspicious.
I fancy Rupert found out about that too. But the doctor didn't kill him. I don't think extremely well of the man, it's true, but...
Quite so. But don't you see that to save James from arrest, we must turn the attention of the police to fresh channels of inquiry?
Yes, I see that, of course. And the doctor being a surgeon... Oh, dreadful man. How glad I am that I refused to call him in when Aubrey contracted the chicken pox 2 summers ago.
Don't disturb yourself, Mrs. Bryce Harringay. I can see my servant. Ah, Aubrey. Just the person I wish to see.
I say, Mrs. Bradley, something very rum's happened.
Later, child. First, go upstairs again and bring me the false teeth which you found on the vicarage rubbish heap.
But how did you know?
Elementary, my dear Harringay. Hurry now. Those teeth may be important evidence. The teeth of the evidence, you might say.
That was part 1 of The Mystery of a Butcher's Shop, dramatised by Elizabeth Proud. Mary Wimbush played Mrs Lestrange Bradley, Richard Pearce, Aubrey Harringay, Christopher Scoular, James Redsey, and David King, the Vicar of Wandles. The part of Felicity Broome was played by Teresa Gallagher, Mrs Bryce Harringay and Mrs Noon, Anne Windsor. Cleaver Wright, Christopher Scott, Theodore Grayling, David Monaco, and George William Savile, Terence Edmond. Sonny Ormond played Mary Kate Maloney and Mrs Willows, Peter Penry-Jones, Dr Barnes, Norman Bird, Superintendent Bidwell, Charles Millam, Inspector Grindy, Eric Allen, the Bishop of Culminster, Elizabeth Proud, You Lady Blenkins, and Ronald Herdman, Sergeant Walls. The play was directed by Sue Wilson. The Mystery of a Butcher's Shop by Gladys Mitchell, dramatised by Elizabeth Proud, with Mary Wimbush as Mrs Lestrange Bradley, Richard Pearce as Aubrey Harringay, and Christopher Scoular as James Redsey. Rupert Sethleigh has disappeared, and a body has been found, jointed and hung, in the butcher's shop. Aubrey Harringay is enjoying his amateur sleuthing, and under the watchful eye of Beatrice LeStrange Bradley, the search for the missing skull continues. The Mystery of a Butcher's Shop, Part 2, The Bones of the Matter.
Let. Fault. Buck up, Felicity. This isn't like you. I say, old thing, I didn't mean anything. Oh, hell. Felicity.
I'm sorry, Aubrey. It's not your fault. It's just...
I know. It's those police Johnnies nosing round all the time, isn't it?
Yes. I'm sure they think that Jim's...
Did for Cousin Rupert. Yes, I'm afraid so too. And they found that bally blood-stained suitcase.
What? Where?
Buried in that hole old Jim dug. Just where we decided to put it ourselves.
We didn't.
No, because some blighter snaffled it. Comic, isn't it? Oh, but they can't prove anything, you know. Old Jim has been absolutely straight with them. Confessed he knocked Rupert out and everything. That ought to count in his favour. If only we could find out who bunked off with the bally suitcase that Monday night.
Why?
Well, don't you see? It must have been the murderer. After all, if old Jim didn't carve up the corpse and hang it in the butcher's shop, and he swears he didn't, and I asked Inspector Grindy and he said Jim had an alibi for the time when they're sure it was done. Well then, it seems to me that Jim couldn't have killed Rupert, but only stunned him, and somebody else had a soft job finishing the poor blighter off.
Yes, but it's Jimsy the police are after. I know it is.
Well, anyway, I'm going to find the man who did the dismembering of the corpse. And that old dame the mater hates so much...
Mrs. Bradley?
Yes, she's working on it too. She's hot.
All right. Well, I know you're a clever boy, Aubrey, and brave too. So, if you want any help, I'll do what I can.
Good man.
Now, I must go and wash my face. Do I look very horrible?
You look all right.
Ah, there you are, Felicity. Have you ever been to the Manor Woods by night to meet a man?
Father, whatever are you talking about?
Well, why did Marjorie Barnes go? She's in my study, by the way. Will her father be very angry?
She's never going to tell Dr. Barnes. He'll eat her.
She's going to tell Inspector Grindy first.
What? Oh, I say. Is it something to do with the murder?
Is what something to do with the murder?
Oh, good afternoon, Mrs. Bradley. Marjorie Barnes has some tale which she says helps to prove James Redsey's innocence. So why don't you all go into the drawing room, and then I can get on with my sermon.
Rupert Sethleigh was supposed to have been killed on Sunday night, June the 22nd, wasn't he? And at about 9 o'clock, Jim Redsey was in the Queen's Head.
Getting drunk?
Yes. Well, if anybody saw Rupert alive after Jim had gone off and left him for dead, well, I mean, they couldn't think Jim did it then, could they?
No, it would make a difference, of course. Go on, child.
It was all through Father saying don't about men. The first time was when Willie Bailey took me to Bosbury Fair, and Willie is a perfectly nice boy. Anyway, that Sunday night, we'd arranged to be at the Manor Woods at 9:15.
Marjorie!
It was all fairly easy because Mother was on holiday and Father was going up to the Major's. At least that's what he said. So I sneaked off, though I felt rather scared.
Why?
I think it's that horrible stone. I dream about it sometimes, and it's always dripping with blood.
Interesting. Continue.
He insisted we sit down with our backs against the stone, said I was silly to be scared, and he began to tell me stories, fairy tales. Then suddenly he said in a horrible, blood-curdling voice, and the ogre cried. I was so terrified that I just jumped up and ran for all I was worth.
What time was this?
Just after 9 o'clock. I remember hearing the church clock strike.
I see. Well, please go on.
Yes. Well, I couldn't find the path, and I fell over and tore myself on brambles, and then suddenly I came bursting out into the clearing again. And there it was, that horrible stone of sacrifice.
And your friend?
No, he wasn't there. And then I heard this sound quite close, and I saw...
Yes.
What? A man came crawling out of the bushes like a great black slug.
Oh, horrible.
I'm afraid I just ran. Luckily, this time I stumbled onto the path and raced home and went straight to bed.
But who was it?
Well, it must must have been Rupert Sethleigh, still funny in the head from concussion. And if it was, then Jim didn't kill him.
But you don't know that the man was Rupert. You didn't really recognise him.
No, but I'd swear I did if the police asked me. And he did have a frightfully familiar sort of look.
But telling lies for Jim won't help him, Marjorie. And look here, this tale doesn't exactly connect up with Willie Bailey, you know.
That's the whole point, Felicity. It was not Willie Bailey. And it's no use asking me who it was because I won't tell you.
Well, what did you make of that?
Interesting. Marjorie reminds me of somebody. Who is it?
Yes, who is it?
May I come in, Mr. Wright? Not disturbing you, am I?
Well, you ought to pay, really. Look, isn't that beautiful?
Remarkable. Who is the model?
Old Savile.
Really?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He looks such a worm in his clothes. But take them away, and damn it, the chap's a pocket Hercules. Rippling muscles and all that. Most surprising fellow.
Oh, you know, this is quite an experience for me. I have never seen a studio before. Oh, very interesting. A life-size annotated plan of a human skeleton.
Yes. Yes, old Savile stuck that up and wrote the book of words. Heaven knows why. I find the thing rather revolting, usually turn it round. You might be more interested in these canvases.
And the model of Rupert Sethleigh's head, did you make that in here?
That? Oh, yes. Yes, funny business that, you know. I mean, Deuce knows what happened to that skull. Most extraordinary thing.
Yes.
In fact, one is very glad one has a complete alibi for the night of Sethleigh's murder, especially as one is known to have disliked the chap.
A complete alibi? Then you've more than I have, young man.
Yes. Well, I went to the Queen's Head for a nightcap and got embroiled in a row with a great oaf of a farmer called Gallagher. Got pretty badly knocked about. Oh, never mind.
And you bear Mr. Galloway no malice. That is so nice, I think. Good heavens! Is that Mr. Savile out in the garden? What on earth is he doing?
Burying Lulu's canary, I expect.
Oh.
It died.
But he's wearing a clerical collar.
Yes, believes in dressing the part. Blasphemous devil.
I see. Why, what a lot of silver cups. Sporting trophies, I presume.
Well, Savile's mostly.
But you have too, I see. Oh, and there's a belt. How extremely amusing. What are they for?
Oh, boxing. About the only thing I'm good at in the sports line.
Really? You must be clever. Goodbye.
Damn! Damn! Damn!
Hello, Mrs. Bradley. Has the murder driven you to drink?
Impudence is the weapon of the very young. Chastisement is the reply of the extremely old. Ow! I have been confirming my suspicion that Cleaver Wright deliberately picked a fight in the Queen's Head on the evening of the murder.
For an alibi, of course.
More than that. A fight would not have been necessary if an alibi were all.
Oh.
Tell me, if you know, child, whether Rupert Sethleigh had his flannels made by a tailor or bought them ready-made.
I'll go and dig in his wardrobe. It's a queer thing about grey flannel bags. A chap can almost always wear another chap's greys. I've worn old Rupert's, which are too big in the seat. I've worn old Jim's, which are too big everywhere. And yet, somehow, they seem to look much about the same when you've got 'em on.
A point which I intend to bring to the immediate notice of Inspector Grindy. And there is also the point that everyone, every male that is, appears to possess a pair. Except Dr. Barnes, who always dresses most formally. I think I shall pay a call on the good doctor.
Well, what is it this time?
Can you give me something for a slight attack of indigestion?
You haven't got indigestion.
Oh, no, I haven't, I'm thankful to say, but my maid has, or else it's homesickness. Her sister has a new baby and she hasn't seen
Yes,
it.
well, bismuth tablets.
And the grandfather plays bears on the floor to amuse it. Isn't that charming?
Well, I can safely say I shall never play bears on the floor to delight my grandchildren. I never amused Marjorie in any such ponderously inane fashion.
Personally, I think that's a pity. Great black slug, indeed. By the way, Doctor, do you possess a pair of grey flannel trousers?
My dear madam, we have to maintain the dignity of the profession.
I assume that means no.
Here's your bismuth.
What a strange thing consanguinity is, isn't it?
Consanguinity, madam? Never thought about it. Of whom are you thinking in particular?
Oh, my son, Ferdinand Lestrange. And then there's your son, Doctor.
Ferdinand Lestrange? Is he your son? Didn't know. Brilliant man.
Yes, a clever boy. Takes after his mother.
Defended you in a murder trial, didn't he?
And got me off.
Yes. Well,
just one thing. Tell me, are the people who live at the cottage on the hill patients of yours?
None of your business, madam. You should know better. Now, good day.
Flannel trousers. Ah, Mary Kate.
Now what?
Now, what was the question, Mrs. Bradley?
Do you ever
Oh, yes. Do I ever wear grey flannel trousers?
Am I to be wearing myself to the bone, trying to get the stains out of 'em where you went shopping for the meat and dripped the blood all down yourself?
Blood?
Out of the best English beef. I remember now.
And when was this?
Well, really, I can't... Mary Kate?
Well, indeed, I'm not sure. Was it the night you came home to us all sopping wet and nearly drowned it through walking into the river near Colminster Bridge?
What?
No, that was the same Sunday night as that murder, so I won't forget that day in a hurry.
I should think not. Well, I want those trousers.
Oh, fetch them, would you, Mary Kate?
Did you really walk into the Cullen that evening?
I'm afraid so.
Mr. Broome, what are you going to do when Felicity marries?
Oh, but Felicity's only a child. She won't marry for years.
She is nearly 21 and she's in love with James Redsey.
Well, really,
Well, here is the garment itself. Oh, in a sad state it's in entirely.
Dear me, yes. There seems rather a lot of blood for a pound or so of topside of beef, doesn't there?
Yes. And I fancy these stains are not the mark of the beast. They appear to be more like the brand of Cain. What's more, I rather fancy that these trousers once belonged to Rupert Sethleigh. And as I propose to hand them over to the inspector, you had better try to remember a little more about them.
Oh, sure.
Now I want a word with Felicity about the laundry.
Laundry? Well, we sent things down to the cottage hill, to the unspeakable Lulu.
Lulu Hurst, otherwise Mrs. Savile. Well.
Yes. She used to work in a laundry before she became an artist's model.
Good. And now I want to know more about this suitcase.
Oh, dear. Well, Father borrowed it from Mr. Sethleigh for our holiday in May, but I was under the impression that he had returned it.
What gave you that impression?
Well, when we came back, Father put it on the landing, because seeing it would remind him to return it. Now, he didn't unpack until I reminded him that his collars and things must be washed.
By Lulu Savile? Nay, Hurst.
Yes. One of his clerical collars is missing, by the way.
Is it indeed? I want to ask my friend Mary Kate something. Mary Kate!
And what will you be after this time, ma'am?
I want a piece of string and a large sheet of brown paper.
In this house? Sure, St. Michael and all his angels couldn't be finding string and brown paper hereabouts without they'd be bringing it with them.
Oh, I see. So you just pushed the laundry into the suitcase and sent it up to Mrs. Lulu. And when would that have been?
The Thursday, ma'am. The Thursday before the murder, God save us all.
Forward, children. Straight to the stone of sacrifice. Aubrey first, Mr. Redsey next. I will come last. Ah, the Druid's stone. Oh, yes, it reeks of evil. Now, Mr. Redsey, take Aubrey over to the spot where you knocked your cousin down.
Right you are. Here.
Well, lie down, boy.
Like this?
No, get your head round to the left a bit more. Stick. That's right.
Thank you. And now, haul him into the bushes. Ow! Oh, by the arms, was it? And now, you, Mr. Redsey, go off in the direction of the Queen's Head at the pace which you took on that Sunday night.
Oh, right you are. Goodbye.
Oh, well, never mind. He's done all that I wanted him to do. Now, Aubrey, I want you to crawl out of those bushes into the clearing. No, slowly. Oh. You're not feeling very well after you struck your head against a tree. Oh, that's right. And you're wearing a white shirt and light grey flannel trousers. Well, I should have asked you to take your blazer off, child. Never mind. And it's 8 o'clock on a fine midsummer evening. Oh, no, 9:15 on a fine midsummer evening. Oh, yes, quite so. Well, get up. Great black slug indeed. Oh, I'll buy you some new flannels, boy, if you've spoilt those. Well, now we'll try again. Go back into the bushes and lie down as you did before.
Right you are.
Yeah. Oh, do you mind removing your blazer first? No. Thank you so much. Now, you are unconscious. I am the person for whom the police are looking. I've seen Redsey drag you into the bushes and dash away. I search the bushes and discover you lying prone upon the ground. Oh, keep still. You're unconscious, remember? I seize you by the heels. Oh, yes, I really must buy some new flannels for you. I drag you out into the clearing. There. I examine you. It occurs to me that I hate and fear you, that it's a golden opportunity to be rid of you forever. I gag you with your own shirt, in case you should recover consciousness before I decapitate you. You won't be cold, you've your vest. Now then, I secure your wrists with your own belt. No, kick out hard if that shirt hurts too much. Then I put my foot against the soles of your shoes, seize your bound wrists and jerk you into a sitting position. Then I slip your bound wrist over my head and straighten myself. Oh, heavens, what a length you are, child. And I carry you over to the stone of sacrifice, and I lay you out on top of it. Then I hack off your head. No, not really. Cheer up. Some blood runs down the stone. Yes, some staining, but not enough. Oh, poor boy, you are rather uncomfortable. There, get me. There.
I say, you are hefty.
Are you willing to conclude the little drama?
You bet.
Oh, good. Well, I wonder what to do next. Suddenly, I hear voices. A man and a girl are approaching.
Marjorie.
I lay the body on the ground. Here, I think, but the exact spot isn't important. I pick up the gag, that is the shirt, and take the head away with me. Oh, I also take away the belt.
Old Rupert generally wore a silk scarf on grey bags.
Oh, indeed. It's easier to tie him up, then. Did he buy his flannels ready-made?
No, had them tailored.
Oh, thank you. That simplifies matters.
Look out!
Oh, heavens! What was that? Was it?
Good Lord.
Oh, my arrow almost killed you. My dear Mrs. Bradley, I scarcely dare hope that you'll accept my apologies. This is what comes of practising for amateur theatricals.
Oh, what a charming costume, Mr. Savile. Do let me hold your longbow so that we can see you in all your glory. Oh, green suits you. I particularly like the feathered cap. Robin Hood to the life, don't you think so, Aubrey?
Jolly fine.
I'm so glad you like it. I was actually on the other side of the road, but when I observed that the arrow had flown into the manor woods, I hurried over to make certain no damage had been done.
Liar.
Are you also acting in a play?
Oh, yes, yes. A very modern play. I'm sorry the full cast isn't here. Aubrey was playing the villain, and I... the innocent victim. Oh, must you go?
Yes,
Goodbye.
It's nothing to laugh at. He nearly killed you.
I wonder. Boys will be boys, you know.
If you want George or Cleaver, they're out.
I called on behalf of the Church Restoration Fund. Miss Hurst?
Yes? Oh, that. Yes, he wants doing up bad, don't it? I give up going because of the draft. Mind you, I only went to hear Cleaver sing.
Oh, Mr. Wright is a churchgoer.
Oh, yes, he goes regular. Lovely voice.
And you, I understand, obliged by doing the vicarage laundry.
Oh, that.
Miss Broome says that you lost one of her father's collars about a month ago.
I never. That pop-eyed swine I goes with done it. Snatches the iron and starts dabbing it on stuff. Spoilt the collar, so I had to chuck it away. Some underclothes went the same way, and who'd washed them that week? Blowed if I know, for I never.
I see. And what shape was this collar?
One of them soft collars they wear on tennis shirts.
Really? And you're sure it was not one of Mr. Wright's collars or Mr. Savile's?
Look here, what is all this? You'd better not come nosing about in what don't concern you. There's one man dead for me already, and
And another will be hanged if you don't keep silent.
So, I've caught you out at last, you dirty little slut!
Oh, it's you, Mrs. Bradley. I thought...
Marjorie, I want a plain answer to a plain question. The man who met you in the Manor Woods that night was Cleaver Wright, wasn't it?
I promised I wouldn't tell.
You haven't told, I have guessed. You see, he walked round the stone after you ran away and saw the dead body of Rupert Sethleigh.
But how could Cleaver have seen Rupert Sethleigh's dead body? Because I saw him alive. I told you. He came crawling out of the bushes like a great black slug.
So you said before. You're certain it wasn't a bear, I suppose.
Well, Mrs. Bradley, you've won the first round. The teeth are certainly Mr. Sethleigh's. Now what?
I should say, produce the skull and find out whether the teeth ever fitted its jaw.
The skull? Ha! We've looked everywhere for that blessed head, but it's gone.
Oh, come, Inspector. I dare say we can make up our minds where it's to be found. Where is the best place to hide a thing, James Redsey?
Where it has been looked for already. Try the old butcher's shop again.
Clever boy. Will your car carry 4, Inspector? I dare say Superintendent Bidwell would like to come too.
Them bones gonna walk around now, here's the word of the law.
Now then, where do butchers throw all the odd bits and bones?
In the drawer under the chopping block. Here we... Oh. By Jove! It is too! What about this, Grindy?
Them bones gonna walk around, them bones gonna. Them bones gonna walk around now, here's the word of the law.
But how did you know?
We have quite a number of strangely constructed persons, psychologically speaking, living amongst us. First, the Stephen Broome.
The vicar?
Yes, my dear. A man who thrusts clocks into his pocket and is as appallingly absent-minded as that poor dear man is a very pretty study for a psychoanalyst.
Good Lord.
And then there's your own mother. She had a very good motive for getting rid of both Sethleigh and Redsey.
Hang it all.
If Sethleigh were murdered and Redsey hanged, you, young man, would be heir to the family property.
Yes, but the mater...
And then there are the two young men who live at the cottage on the hill. Cleaver Wright is just the sort of person who would think it funny to hang human joints on hooks. And he could have stolen the skull from his own studio most convincingly.
Yes, still, jolly difficult to see how he could have done the actual murder. He had a pretty sound alibi.
How do you know that?
Marjorie Barnes. Made me swear to keep Mum when her pater was about, though. I say, I suppose he wasn't the jolly old murderer.
I was coming to Dr. Barnes. Doctors have been known to commit these crimes. The trouble is he doesn't possess a pair of grey flannel trousers.
I say, does that mean you know who the murderer is?
I know that the man who moved the skull to the butcher's shop was a man in a panic, and the murderer feels perfectly secure. But upon my word, if I didn't feel certain that the police will sooner or later make out a case against some innocent person, I'd leave him in peace. Rupert Sethleigh
asked for it. Yes, he did. Didn't he?
Wonder someone doesn't confess to the murder and have done with it.
Oh, I don't know why one should confess. Oh, yes, just a little milk, thank you.
Well, I wonder they don't pay more attention to Mr. Savile. He has no alibi, has he?
No, child. And psychologically it would be possible for such a man to commit such a murder, and I told the inspector so.
The police don't worry about psychology. Seem to catch a good many murderers there.
And hang 'em, too.
Is that a challenge?
If you like.
Very well. The police are usually guided by what is known as circumstantial evidence. Sometimes it leads them right and sometimes entirely wrong.
For instance?
For instance, according to the police point of view, Sethleigh was not dead when James fled from the woods to the public house. They think he was only stunned.
So do I.
I now come to a remark made by Marjorie Barnes.
Me? Oh, but
now,
I'm sure...
Marjorie saw a man crawling out of some bushes near the Stone of Sacrifice. Afterwards, she assumed that it must have been Sethleigh. I refuse to believe this for two reasons. First, she didn't actually recognize the man, and second, her words were, and a man came crawling out of the bushes like a great black slug. Very well. Now, at 9 o'clock on a midsummer night, it is very far from dark, light enough to play tennis, for example. Well, Sethleigh was wearing a white tennis shirt and light grey flannel trousers.
Aha! If Marjorie had really seen old Rupert, you mean she couldn't have thought he looked black?
Exactly. Beware of the fact which refuses to fit.
Then who was it?
Well, it might have been your father.
Father? Oh, but he was at the Major's.
Oh, very well, that's a thing that can be proved. Go on.
I can't think of anybody else. Oh, yes,
The Vicar? Well, his clothes are certainly black enough, and he asked for it just now. We will try our circumstantial evidence on him.
Really?
Mr. Broome, where were you on the evening of Sunday, June the 22nd?
Went for a walk, I expect. I generally do after church.
Where?
Oh, round and about, you know.
We'll assume he went for his walk in the Manor Woods.
No.
Now then, the vicar leaves the church and enters the Manor Woods, just in time to see the cousins quarrel and fight. He assumes that Sethleigh is dead, and when James has fled, the vicar parts the bushes and has a look at the man he loathes.
The man he loathes?
Well, of course, everybody who met him seems to have detested Rupert Sethleigh. Why should the vicar be any exception?
Well, he's a vicar.
Oh, rubbish.
Go on, don't mind me. I shall go to sleep as soon as I finish this pipe.
By the way, do you carry your tobacco in a pouch?
Used so.
What do you use now? Never mind. To continue. When the vicar found Sethleigh, he had an unpleasant shock.
He found that Sethleigh wasn't dead.
Thereupon, he helped him out of the bushes, and Sethleigh lay down on the stone of sacrifice to recover. The sight of his prostrate form incensed the vicar to the point of madness. He drew out his penknife and stabbed Sethleigh in the throat.
What nonsense.
Well, then he heard voices. Marjorie Barnes and Cleaver Wright.
Gracious me.
He lowered the body to the ground and hid. Well, when Marjorie ran off, Mr. Wright walked round the stone, found the body and knelt to examine it, thus getting blood on his trousers. Now, the corpse had bled from the neck. There was no blood probably on Sethleigh's trousers, grey flannels, you recall. Wright is quick-witted. He drags off Sethleigh's trousers, pulls off his own flannels, Marjorie.
Yes, he was wearing flannels that evening.
Yes, I knew it. He then put on Sethleigh's trousers and went to the Queen's Head, where he picked a quarrel with young Galloway and got himself so badly knocked about that no one would suppose any blood on his person to be other than his own.
Brains, bright man.
Oh, I agree. Though it was not so bright to expect me to believe that someone who has won cups and belts for boxing is going to let himself be punched on the nose by a clumsy ox like Galloway. However, back to the vicar. He realised that since Wright had seen the body, it had to be disposed of. So he crawled out of his hiding place towards the body, and it was then that Marjorie saw him. When she had gone, he lifted the body, he's a very strong man, remember, and carried him into his own garden.
How dare you say such a thing?
You will remember that I am reconstructing on circumstantial and not upon psychological evidence. He laid the body down in the empty pigsty and then realised that there was a quantity of blood on his own clothes. So he sallied forth again and deliberately walked into the River Cullen, dropped the incriminating knife, dropped the dead man's clothes, which he weighted with stones.
A handful of flints placed in the middle of the shirt, the collar and tie thrown on top, the shirt gathered up like a bag and tied round with string.
And then he returned to Wandles Parva and informed his daughter and Mary Kate that he had absent-mindedly walked into the river. They prepared a hot bath for him and believed implicitly the tale he told them. Oh, dear child, would you rather I stopped?
Oh, good gracious, no. I know it's only a joke. It just sounds rather horrid to me.
Oh, well, of course it does. I won't go on.
Oh, but I want to hear the rest. Oh, you better go away, Felicity, and don't spoil other people's pleasure.
I'm glad you're enjoying yourself.
Go on, Mrs. Bradley. Corpse in pigsty, vicar in bath, Rupert missing. What next?
Next is where the rest of the circumstantial evidence comes in.
What, the butcher's shop business?
Simple. You see, the butcher's assistant belongs to the Vicar's Boys' Club, which is held in Bosbury on Mondays. Cleaver Wright often lends the vicar his car for the journey, so he could have taken the body to the shop with the utmost ease, having stolen the key from the assistant's pocket during running practice.
Good heavens!
And lastly, at this very instant, he is in possession of a silver tobacco case, which was once the property of the murdered man. Stephen Broome, I knew this passion of yours for putting things in your pockets would get you into trouble one day.
Oh, dear.
The trouble is, Grindy, Redsey is the chap with a really strong motive.
What about the doctor, eh? And Mrs Bryce Harringay,
eh?
And Savile. That wife of his, Lulu Hurst, as good as told Mrs Bradley that Sethleigh was her lover. There's one man dead for me already, she said.
What was that about the doctor?
Blackmail.
Oh, that illegitimate son business. What of it?
Well, a doctor, you know. Got to be pretty careful.
Was it ever proved, though?
Cleaver Wright. Don't you spot the likeness?
Well, now you mention it...
Unmistakable once you got onto it. And, of course, Cleaver's been sponging on the doctor ever since he's been here.
Has he?
Rumour says so. Worth looking into, sir.
Then there's the question of Savile, a very vexed question.
But he hadn't any reason for hating old Rupert.
Hadn't he? Ask Lulu Hurst. Jealousy, my child.
Oh? Oh, I see.
Yes. And Savile is neat and tidy to a fault. It was a very tidy person who left the butcher's shop in such good order. And he has a curious kink in his mentality. Have you observed it, child?
I've observed he's a greasy swine.
I discovered him once interring a small dead bird, and he was wearing a clergyman's collar. Ritual, you see. Surely you noticed the Robin Hood suit when he nearly shot me in the Manor Woods?
Yes, but he said he was rehearsing for a play.
Oh, rehearsing my foot. He was dressed for the part he was playing in his imagination, and that's why I think he must be the butcher. You see, to him a dead body would signify meat. Meat is cut into joints. Very well. He cuts it into joints.
But that's a bit of a skilled job, you know.
Oh, undoubtedly. But Savile had a chart in his studio. It depicts a human body with the skeleton marked in black and fainter lines showing the shape of the flesh on the bones. Oh, fascinating. And then there's the stone, the centre of weird and wonderful legends. It may even once have been a sacrificial altar, as its name suggests. And I wonder whether the urge to offer a human sacrifice upon it would not be motive enough for a mind like that of Savile.
Then he could have been the chap who snaffled the suitcase when I'd gone up to the house.
Undoubtedly.
But I say, wouldn't all this about Savile apply pretty equally to Cleaver, Wright?
Well, Wright is certainly shielding somebody, but I rather fancy he's shielding somebody who is not the murderer.
You know, I feel an awful muddle about all this. Do you know who the murderer is?
I'm not quite prepared to answer that question, but... Oh, I wish I knew whether Savile meant to shoot that arrow at me.
Well, if not, why did he...
Oh, glory be to God, Mrs. Bradley, ma'am. Do you be running over to the vicarage with all your legs this day? Sure, and this poor Mr. Savile does be hanging by his braces from the woodshed door entirely.
Well, I'm glad it's entirely. I'm bored to death by limbs and joints. What's come over him that he should do a silly thing like that?
Well, Mr. Redsey, we've made our arrest.
Savile, I suppose. You've dragged him out of hospital into the lockup.
Well, sir, no. Mr. Savile is recovering in the cottage hospital, under observation, of course. No, as a matter of fact, after I'd heard that comic fairy tale Mrs. Bradley was handing out to you all in her garden, I got quite one or two new ideas.
But how the deuce did you hear her ideas?
I was behind that clump of laurels, at Mrs. Bradley's invitation, and I certainly got a knockout over that silver tobacco case. But it seems as though the vicar must have,
acquired it?
Yes, and a long time before the murder.
Yes, but...
Anyway, Cleaver Wright broke down and confessed he'd seen a headless corpse. Then we had a look at the trousers which he'd been wearing on and off ever since the murder. They were Sethleigh's, tailor's mark on them and everything. Well, the suitcase affair was a bit tricky. I'm not sure I've got it right now, but it seems as though Mary Kate sent some laundry in it to the cottage on the hill, and the murderer pinched it from there and used it to transport the dismembered body to the butcher's shop. Oh, and he destroyed the rest of Sethleigh's clothes by scorching them with Mrs. Lulu's iron. Had ample opportunity because he was very sweet on the lady, and used to visit her as often as he could. Wonderful how many patients a country practitioner can acquire, was your word, sir, I think?
Country practitioner?
Dr. Barnes, sir. He's the chap we've arrested. If you take Mrs. Bradley's fairy story and say doctor, where she said vicar, you'll be about right, I reckon. Particularly the slug business.
How much?
The man who came crawling out of the bushes like a great black slug. That was Dr. Barnes.
Yes, of course it was. What can you expect of a man who has never played bears with his children?
Never what?
Look here, Mrs. Bradley. I'm damned if I can make this business out. Now, we all knew that you were joking about the vicar, but really, to push the murder onto Dr. Barnes seems almost as bad.
Oh, it's ridiculous, James. The doctor is not a tidy man. Is it tidy to have illegitimate children all over the place? Is it tidy to have affairs with the Lulu Hursts of this world? No. And the motive, Inspector. The poor man had no motive. Everybody knew his secret. Wasn't a secret at all. No, the man who cut up that body is tidy. He's a maniac for tidiness. Well, the doctor's a fool, but he is not a madman. Set him free.
Well, I'm damned. Madman? But who can it be?
The person who puts on a clerical collar when he's going to inter a little dead bird, who assumes a suit of Lincoln green when he's practising archery.
Ah, telephone call for you, Inspector.
Ah, thank you.
Mrs. Bradley, I was going to ask you something about that arrow, you know.
Oh, so you were, child. What about it?
Well, why did Savile tell a lie about where he was standing when he shot him?
Did he tell a lie?
Of course. Said he was in the woods on the other side of the road. Couldn't have been. The arrow was less than 6 feet from the ground and travelling in a straight line. Hadn't been fired from more than 20 yards off, I should say.
By heavens, Holmes, this is wonderful. Inspector, will anything short of a miracle convince you that the doctor is innocent and that Savile dismembered the body of Rupert Sethleigh?
Savile? But that's just it, Mrs Bradley. He's done it on us.
What happened?
Savile escaped from his bed in the cottage hospital and jumped from a top-floor window.
Not dead?
As a doornail. Mucking up my case like that. Anyway, I'd better be getting along to the hospital, if you'll excuse me.
I'll see you out, Inspector.
I say, Mrs Bradley, why was Dr Barnes in the woods that night, anyway?
Meeting Lulu Hurst, child.
Oh, I see. So he has an alibi?
Of a sort. Certainly for the butcher shop business. Savile, of course, was looking for Lulu when he came across Sethleigh in the woods. Aubrey, what will Mr Redsey do now that he's cleared of suspicion?
Stay here, I should think. The house goes to him, you know, and there's Felicity to be considered.
What, you mean he'll marry her?
Be practically a breach of promise if he doesn't, considering how the poor kid howled when she thought he might be arrested.
You are indelicate, child. And what does she want for a wedding present?
No idea.
But you could find out.
Yes, I suppose so. Now, you mean?
Why not? Besides, I want a word with Mr Redsey on his own.
Oh. I'll toddle over to the vicarage, then.
Well, that's that, I suppose.
Is it?
Well, the police will conclude that Savile did the murder, won't they? Now the poor blighter's dead.
I hope so, sincerely. For your sake.
What do you mean?
That although Savile planned the murder, he never committed it. A fact which, out of aunt-like affection for yourself, I have endeavoured to relegate to the background. I've not actually told a lie about it, but still, there it is. Savile cut up the body. Yes, he stole the murdered man's clothes, yes. But he decapitated a dead man.
Look here. Are you calling me a murderer? You'd better not.
Do not threaten me, James. Threats are so wearing to the threatener. Think of Felicity Broome and conserve your energies.
But what are you going to do?
Nothing. If I'd been going to give you away, I should have done it long ago. However, that punch of yours which knocked Sethleigh down most certainly caused his death. Never had the least doubt of that. Still, morally, of course, Savile was guilty. And he very nearly succeeded in killing me.
That was the final episode of The Mystery of a Butcher's Shop, dramatised by Elizabeth Proud. Mary Wimbush played Mrs Lestrange Bradley, Richard Pearce, Aubrey Harringay, Christopher Scoular, James Redsey, and David King, the Vicar of Wandles. The part of Felicity Broome was played by Teresa Gallagher, George William Savile, Terence Edmond, Cleaver Wright, Christopher Scott, Dr Barnes, Peter Penry-Jones, and Marjorie Barnes, Jane Whittenshaw. Charles Millam played Inspector Grindy, Norman Bird, Superintendent Bidwell, Sonny Ormond, Mary Kate Maloney, and Petra Markham, Lulu Hurst. The play was directed by Sue Wilson.